Good morning, everyone. Isaac Petcash here for Erie News Now. We're live on ENN Plus and on Facebook here at our alert desk. Thanks for joining us this morning. We have a lot to get to today, including continuing election coverage. But in just a few moments here, we are getting set for County Executive Kathy Dahlkemper to announce the 2021 Erie County budget. Now, in any other year, this might seem fairly normal. You would expect a normal flatline budget. But, of course, with the pandemic continuing throughout the year of 2020, all the way back from March to September, it's been fairly difficult on Erie County. We've been talking about how the county has had to receive significant amounts of grants, some grant money they've had that's been less than what they've been expecting. And so it's been fairly difficult for the most part for several residents and business owners. And so as we get set to hear this 2021 budget, will there be any cuts? And if there are cuts, who exactly will have to pay the price? Will it be businesses? Will it be individual employees? We're about to find out here in just a second, but an interesting year to announce a budget, especially with all the cuts we've seen here in 2020 because of the pandemic. We're just moments away here from County Executive Kathy Dahlkemper stepping up to the podium. We'll get you out there in just a second once she is ready. She's at the podium right now, and we're just getting ready for her to speak. But it should be certainly an interesting budget announcement here as the 2021 budget will get set to be announced here in just a moment. And we will go ahead and go out to County Executive right now. We'll have a recap in just a moment after this budget is announced.
Sabrina Fisher's last day. She got a new job. She's leaving us for Greenville, South Carolina. I don't know. Right? South Carolina, right? What?
Is your mic live?
No, I didn't. I wasn't going to use it.
You weren't going to use a mic?
Do I need a mic?
For this size crowd, I don't think so.
I got a big enough.
Looks like Erie News.
Yeah, Erie News Now has theirs up here. So, as soon as Melissa gets the thing up, we'll be ready to roll. Poor Matt, you got a fog. Your fog. So they were saying, what was I reading about your glasses? You're supposed to dip them in something.
And again, we are still waiting on the county executive to start her budget here. Looked like she was stepping up to the podium, but not quite ready yet. Just continuing to talk about the fiscal difficulties for Erie County here in 2020. We've been talking at length about the issues with unemployment, the issues with evictions and other things of that nature. And so it's been fairly difficult on so many people. If you remember, we just heard from Jake Rao a couple of weeks ago at the Erie Regional Chamber and Growth Partnership that Erie County businesses, restaurants and bars specifically, are set to potentially close as much as 30% of those bars and restaurants. So we've, of course, seen the 25% capacity limit. Now the 50% capacity limit has certainly put a damper on those bars and restaurants, and it doesn't help business owners either. And so we'll see exactly how that funding is going to be divided in this 2021 budget. And it obviously makes for an interesting fiscal year next year. Of course, we're now into Q4 of 2020, which many say could potentially be an economic rebound. But of course, Q4, a quarter where sometimes so many cuts happen, so many people getting laid off. And so really at this point, we don't really know. And so what we're expecting today by the county executive, again, just giving an overview of what the budget is to include. We're also expecting an idea of if there's going to be cuts, which sectors will get those cuts and which sectors will remain the same. Interestingly to note as well, this is coming in the midst of a time where Erie County is still in the midst of giving out that $24.3 million in federal CARES Act funding that they got from the county block grants, which still, as we currently speak, is being divided up and given to small businesses. So you can make the argument that almost acts as part of the county budget as well, with these businesses and nonprofits and municipalities potentially vying for that extra funding. And so we'll see if that at all factors into the county budget as well. Apologize here, we're just moments away from the county executive speaking again. This was going to be on the 2021 budget for Erie County, and as many announcements have been in this year, certainly a huge announcement with everything that's been going on during the pandemic. We talked about how Erie County's had the struggles. Of course, Crawford and Warren counties have not fared much better, if at all. And so it's becoming increasingly difficult just to see what exactly is going to be down the pike when it comes to specific budgeting in Erie County and the surrounding counties. But of course, the County Executive Kathy Dahlkemper has stated at length multiple times about the economic challenges that Erie has had. We, of course, have had plenty of stories in terms of underprivileged communities, individuals who have lost their business owners of that nature. And so we continue to wait here just to see what 2021 will have in store. But of course, we still have a couple more months this year to go before anything else happens. So we are anxiously awaiting this appearance here by the County Executive. Again, you're joining us live on ENN Plus as well as Facebook Live today. Thanks again for tuning in this morning. And again, just moments away from this announcement. It'll be pretty interesting to see where this funding goes. Again, the majority of the CARES Act funding, that $24 million that the county is projected to give out, is going to go to nonprofits and small businesses. About $11 million of that total is going to be dispersed to those two entities, nonprofits and small businesses. And you almost wonder if it will become the same on the budget. You know, we've had many conversations. Business owners have struggled. Nonprofits have certainly struggled. We've talked to several of those businesses across the last couple of months. But the funding, of course, can't go to everyone. It has to be dispersed in a way that makes the most sense. And so it'll be just interesting to see how exactly this funding gets divvied out, of course, in 2021. So right now, just moments away yet again. Apologize for the short delay here, but it looks like we are just moments away from the county executive speaking. It looks like they're trying to get a little PowerPoint behind her going. This event is being held at the Blasco Library, which has been one of the resources for people in the area. Actually was an area that had to wait to open. If you remember, because of the coronavirus pandemic, Blasco Library was one of the later areas to open because of potential spread of the virus via touching of books. So it opened fairly later than you would normally expect. Of course, the Blasco Library also adding extra parking and Wi-Fi in that parking for individuals in schools. So we've talked about it being a team and collaborative effort. That's certainly exactly what it's been during this pandemic. And so we'll see just how the county executive decides and her board decides to divvy up this money. Of course, 2021 isn't going to be the year, too. One more thing we have to add, it's not going to be the year the community college is opening. Erie County Community College set to open in a couple of years, but it will also be interesting to see if the part of the budget goes to that community college. Of course, now that groundbreaking construction can start, the board of directors has been selected, the board of trustees at that. It'll be interesting to see just where this funding comes for the community college, because even though it may not be opening until 2022, you still have to find the means to be able to fund it. And that was a big part of Erie County's specific pitch for the community college, was that they would be able to have that funding available. And right now we're in the midst of wondering and considering where exactly that funding will come from. So the community college is a big part of it. Making sure to help fund small businesses as well as business owners and nonprofits is another part of it as well. So there's a lot to consider in a budget like this. And it's never easy when you are at that helm of power, as County Executive Kathy Dahlkemper is. So we'll see exactly how that funding turns out. And if 2021 budget looks a little bit different than 2020, it sure will. We expect it to be slimmed down just a little bit, of course, because of the pandemic. And so we'll see where that funding decides to turn out. Just looking over at my screen here, we have a live feed at the Blasco Library as County Executive is getting set to speak on the 2020 budget. Let's go ahead and head over there right now. It looks like we are almost all set, so we'll go ahead and take our live feed and let you hear from County Executive Kathy Dahlkemper on the 2021 budget.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us here at the Hurd Auditorium in the Blasco Library. A little change of venue for my budget speech, but due to COVID-19, we're always looking to try to be as safe as we can with our social distancing. So I want to particularly welcome our council members. Thank you for joining me today, Councilman Horton, Councilman Anderson, and all of our guests, including many of my department heads. The combination, well, as you can imagine, first, we were presented with a very unique budget situation this year. The combination of County Council's decision last year to balance the budget with a $3.4 million from the general fund and $1 million from Pleasant Ridge Manor pension settlement, as well as very, very difficult challenges this year brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic fight, my administration found us really in an unprecedented position. Last year, after careful and precise calculations with our residents' best interests in mind, we proposed a budget with a small tax increase of $0.25 million. Council opted to forgo the tax increase and balance the 2020 budget with appropriations that I just described. When that decision was made, we knew that we would be left with a very challenging position as we sat down to prepare for the 2021 budget this year, and then COVID-19 hit. Given these factors, departments across county government scrupulously prepared their budgets for 2021, slicing costs and identifying creative efficiency wherever possible. I want to thank to all elected officials and to all my department leaders for their diligence, and with that, we were able to reduce our budget by more than $4 million from where we began. We accomplished so much when we worked together. Having said that, today I put forth a budget of $484,330,932 to County Council. Because a large majority of our residents and businesses have been financially stressed from the COVID-19 pandemic, we determined that pulling from our significant fund balance is the best option this year. So there will be no tax increase under my 2021 proposed budget. We will not place further burden on our taxpayers, especially during this unprecedented time. Although pulling from the fund balance is not fiscally responsible under normal conditions, we know that we are not living in normal times. We also know that by pulling from the fund balance for 2021, next year's budget will be a challenge again. But we are confident that the community should be in a better place to handle a tax increase if it is deemed necessary. The amount of funds needed to balance the 2021 budget is a little over $3.7 million. I must point out that the reason that we're willing to propose that this is because the county currently has a very healthy fund balance. In fact, the current level of the fund balance is $22 million over the required 2-month expenditure level, giving us about $40 million in unassigned funds. I attribute this healthy fund balance to conservative spending from all departments across the county and good fiscal management from my administration over many years. Overall, the difference between the 2020 proposed budget and next year's proposed budget is $26.8 million. $19 million of that amount is attributable to the state-mandated human service expenses. $4.4 is attributable to state-funded Erie County Department of Health COVID-19 pandemic-related expenses. As we move into 2021, my administration will continue our focus on cost control, efficiency, and improved services to our residents. Now let's take a moment to discuss how COVID-19 affected the 2021 budget planning. Because of COVID-19, County Council and I waived late payment penalties on current property taxes. Therefore, actual revenue from real estate taxes is harder to estimate because many taxpayers are opting to wait until late December to pay this year. Revenue from fees is down in most areas. Library fees are significantly down because of the temporary closure of libraries and the use of more e-books. Courts and clerk of records fees were also down because of the temporary closure of the courthouse. But there are also savings being seen because of our response to the pandemic. We will continue to have a ban on employee travel except for essential travel, things such as transporting prisoners out of our county and checking on children who are under placement elsewhere that are in our care. This ban on travel allowed us to cut most travel budgets in half for 2021 because we do not expect a return to normal travel until this pandemic is under control. In a surprising twist, 2 significant contributors to helping our budget this year are the employee pension and medical costs, which both decreased, resulting in a total savings of $770,000. Employee benefits remained relatively flat largely because of the wellness efforts my administration initiated, led by the county's wellness coordinator. Several initiatives, including a wellness rewards program, tobacco cessation classes, a wellness fair, the installation of water bottle filling stations at every worksite location, and procurement of 95 stand-to-sit desks. The blood pressure self-monitoring program may have even saved a county employee's life, and at a minimum decreased the likelihood of severe illness. One employee recognized their abnormal readings, went to their primary care physician, and was diagnosed with a serious cardiac condition, which is now controlled by medication. This is just one example of how our wellness programs have proven successful and are helping to keep our medical costs down. We expect to see many more positive results over time. The CARES Act funding of $24.3 million does not directly impact the 2021 budget because that funding has to be spent by December 30th, 2020, and it also does not allow for revenue replacement. Much of the CARES Act funding is going to help our nonprofits, small businesses, our 38 municipalities, and many community assets. The portion of CARES Act funding allocated for direct county government is $4,953,029. These funds are being used for a variety of strategies to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 and to keep our employees safe while assisting county government in safely continuing to provide essential services to our community. I cannot speak about COVID-19 without speaking about the Erie County Department of Health. From the beginning, we have seen the tremendous value in having our own county health department. I cannot say enough about the professionalism, the dedication, and the value of all of our health department employees. I am grateful to elected officials who came before us and always saw the value of keeping a health department here in Erie County, despite the cost that it sometimes means for us. I believe now that all residents agree that we are very fortunate and our COVID-19 numbers and success thus far are a direct result of that great team of employees. In the 2021 budget, we made some changes to job positions in order to improve efficiency and accountability. We did this while keeping the total employment the same. It is a net for net with 6 new positions and 6 eliminated positions. One of the most valuable new positions will be a diversity and inclusion officer in the Human Resources Department. In early September, my administration worked with County Council to officially declare racism a public health emergency. The Diversity and Inclusion Officer will be responsible for leading a new Diversity and Inclusion Council made up of a diverse group of county employees. This group includes members from every department, and they will be strategizing how we can do a better job of being more inclusive both internally and externally. It's our belief that this position will improve the quality of life and add value to all of our residents. Given the challenging circumstances that 2020 has presented us with, a global pandemic, a war on racism, and an election year like no other, both the 2020 and 2021 budgets could have brought devastating blows for county government and our residents. I am proud of the employees and elected officials in our county government who have pulled together to be very good stewards of your taxpayer dollars. We asked all of them to make significant changes, and they did. We asked them to cut their budgets for 2021, and they did. We asked them to work with us to decrease the large hole we were facing, and they did. I am proud of our community and county government employees and our local businesses for every sacrifice made this year to keep our community safe, healthy, prosperous, and peaceful. We accomplished so much more when we work together. Despite all of the conflicting and near catastrophic events this year, we triumphed with several monumental accomplishments. First, we won the years-long battle to establish a community college here in Erie County. Never before have I seen such a powerful demonstration of partnership like that of my administration, County Council, Empower Erie, local businesses, nonprofit groups, religious leaders, and educators to support such an initiative. Of course, we could not have made this happen without the generous financial investment by the Erie Community Foundation, along with the Erie County Gaming and Revenue Authority. They are a big part of the Erie County Community College success. Now the responsibility goes to the newly seated Board of Trustees who, along with the new president, will make all future decisions for the community college. This includes identifying a location for the bricks and mortar facility, finalizing the curricula, hiring staff, and more. We are thrilled about the diversity, intelligence, and experience among the new board and look forward to all of the opportunities they will help to create for students and businesses in Erie County. We accomplished so much when we worked together. Another accomplishment that took place this summer was the grand opening of the Erie County Community Resource Center. Special thanks to former County Councilwoman Carol Lull for her vision, and to President John Trusilla and the court administration team, to County Council and my administration for bringing this project to fruition. We expect that this rehabilitative approach for offenders will bring significant reduction in recidivism over time, resulting in a savings to the taxpayers, but even more, to a brighter future for those that this center will serve. We accomplish much more when we work together. Partnerships are so important to the functions and economic vitality of Erie County. This year, we fortified our relationships with the City of Erie and united on several fronts, one example of this being the 2020 census effort. Mayor Joe Schember and I have worked closely with our Census Outreach Coordinator to promote the census and to do everything we can to ensure Erie County gets the proper federal funding in the future, as well as proper congressional representation. Regardless of what we face as a community, as a nation, and across the world, we all win when we work together. Erie County's mission is to provide a safe, healthy, and vibrant environment for our diverse citizens while promoting justice and equity to the community that we serve. This budget is a reflection of our commitment to our mission. Erie County strives to be a model county known for its vibrant, healthy residents, its flourishing, inclusive economy, the resilience of its natural and built environments, a quality of life that attracts visitors and engages citizens, and sufficient, innovative, and transparent government. The proposed 2021 budget holds us accountable in response to our current fiscal and the community's overall economic situation. I thank the members of County Council for your continued efforts and for your dedication to this budget process. And I will say it again, we know we accomplish so much more when we work together. As always, everyone is encouraged to view our budget and open finances at eriecountypa.gov and to follow us on our social media channels to stay current on what's happening in Erie County. And we are going to provide now just a quick demonstration of the new County CARES dashboard at eriecountypa.gov, showing the distribution of funds awarded the county through the CARES Act. Now, this is the first page that you will see when you open up our website, and it just basically gives you the basic information and our progress to date of the total funds, the amount that will be spent, and the funds that are yet to be awarded. And then you go into each primary focus area, and you can hit on a Learn More button. You want to do one of those, Melissa? How about if you go back up to Small Business Assistant Programs? You learn more, and click on that, and it talks about what this is about, and then the progress will happen very soon as those applications are now in and being looked at by a team and be awarded. The award, hopefully early next week, will be put out for that, as well as for the nonprofits. Yesterday, was the closing for the grant applications for the municipalities and for the personal protection equipment kits program, and tourism convention center support. That was support that just came out at the last council meeting of $500,000 for Visit Erie, and that hasn't been distributed yet, I don't think. I don't know, Jim Farmer could tell us, but Tracy, but anyway, the check should be out shortly if it isn't out already. So we are trying to get the money out the door, but this will keep tracking all of the money as it goes out on a timely basis. And then towards the end of October, we will have a map on here also. That map will actually show where the money has gone in the county, and that's particularly important when we look at the municipal funds, the small business funds, the nonprofit funds, so that people can see that this money is actually helping the entire county as it's put out. So we want to make sure that people know that County Council and this administration are using this money very diligently to assist the entire community of Erie. So it will go live very shortly, I think. Melissa? Yeah. No, the front, this page. It's live. Yes, this is live. Okay, so this is live now, so you can find that on our website. And thank you to Melissa Dixon, to Melinda Meyer, to the team at Erie County Department of Planning, who have been working diligently along with our IT team to put this all together and get this out to the public so that people can, again, know how transparent we are in Erie County government. And with that, I thank you for being here. I want to now hand officially the 2021 budget off to Chairman Horton.
And I'll be brief. Good morning. Thank you, Kathy and Director Sparber and Ms. Fagali. I accept receipt of the administration's proposed budget on behalf of my colleagues and, more importantly, on behalf of the citizens and residents of Erie County. Residents should know that, as the county executive just stated, that the proposed budget is available for public inspection. We will publish a general summary of the budget and provide an opportunity for the public to inspect the budget and set a time and date for public hearings. Upon completion of the public hearing, but no later than December 1st, Erie County Council will adopt the budget. County Council may add to, delete from, increase, or decrease any appropriation item in the proposed operating or capital budget. The budget as adopted must be balanced with no planned deficit. We in Erie, this year, Erie County and counties all over the country are faced with new fiscal challenges fueled by the COVID-19 global pandemic, while still being called upon, and even more, all the more, to address the human services and human condition, health, welfare, and well-being of our residents, families, loved ones, friends, and neighbors alike. That is our charge. We must do so in a fiscally responsible manner. And to the county executive's comments, and I found it to be true, during the last 6 months of this COVID, we truly are better, and citizens truly are better off when we work together. So thank you all for coming out. Thank you, Kathy.
I think the press probably wants to do questions separately, correct? Okay, we'll do as normal. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
So that is County Executive Kathy Dahlkemper speaking on the 2021 Erie County budget. Let's go ahead and break down exactly what this budget is going to look like. The first big thing to note is a positive thing for several people here in Erie. There will not be a tax increase for the 2021 budget year. County Executive saying that earlier this year, there was a proposed budget tax increase, rather, of $250,000, but council did not approve and chose to balance the budget. So now, this upcoming year in 2021, no tax increase for Erie County taxpayers. Now, if you look at the remainder of the budget, the total budget, just over $484 million for 2021. County Council will be pulling from significant fund balance, which is, the county executive says, is not normally fiscally responsible, but it makes sense for 2021. They don't want to burden business owners and taxpayers with even more taxes, especially with this financial crisis that we've seen here in 2020. A couple of other notes as well. The council will need $3.7 million to balance the 2021 budget, which, looking at this, is relatively the same amount of money they needed last year to balance the 2020 budget. So no real differences there as well. And of course, the county executive talking about how COVID-19 has affected this 2021 budget decision. County council has indeed waived late payment penalties on real estate. They've also seen a decrease in revenue from fees. So whether that be library fees, court clerk of record fees, things of that nature, those have dropped significantly. Another big thing as well that county executive talked about was the savings that are being seen. There's still going to be a ban on employee travel except for essential travel. And in 2021, county executive is expecting that travel budget will be cut in half. So that is a significant change from 2020. So the travel budget is that sector of the budget that's going to be significantly decreased. If you're looking at one area in particular, that would be the one. Is the travel budget going to be cut in half for 2021? The county executive also talked about how the CARES Act funding, that $24.3 million, really doesn't impact next year's budget much. There is $5 million that's being allocated to the local government from that $24 million pool, and that money is being used toward specific things to help stop the spread of COVID-19. But we're going to get to that CARES Act funding in just a second, because that was the second big announcement of the day. Of course, Kathy Dahlkemper making the comment, we all win together when we work together. That was something that's been a statement here for the last year, especially during COVID-19. Now, the timeline for this budget is as follows. You heard from Councilman Andre Horton. The County Council has no later than December 1st to either approve or adjust this budget. So if you heard Councilman Horton talk about that the council will, quote, adopt the budget, what that means is that essentially they have the ability to make some changes. They can increase money in some areas, they can decrease it in some areas, or they can just leave it how it is. And that's exactly how the budget will work out. So no later than December 1st is the date that the council will approve of the budget. Really quickly, want to take you through a couple of breaking news announcements here when it comes to that Erie County CARES website. We've been talking about how $24 million is supposed to be spent by the county by December 31st. That helps small businesses and other sectors as well. If you look on the real-time dashboard, the county is reporting that only $309,000 of that $24 million has been spent so far. So there's still over $24 million left to be spent. Only $300,000 has been spent in that budget. And if you take a look at the breakdown on their website, so far, $0 have been given to small businesses for grants. $0 have been given to nonprofits for grants. The big category that's been helped out with this is PPE for small businesses. They've received $130,000, and municipal reimbursement has received just over $100,000. So far, no money has been given out to small businesses. No money has been given out to nonprofits. So the county continuing to work to see which businesses will be getting that sum of money. But there's only $300,000 of that $24 million that's been spent. And the county council only has 3 months, just under 3 months, to be able to get all that money out. So again, the big hits on this budget: no tax increase for 2021, just over $484 million in total. And if you look at the final big thing that will affect Erie taxpayers potentially, is that there is a $3.7 million budget balance that needs to be done to balance the budget. But again, no tax increase for 2021. Many people in our area will be a fan of that for sure. That's going to do it for our breaking news alert here on ENN Plus and on Facebook Live. Want to appreciate you joining me live here at the alert desk, and of course hearing live from County Executive Kathy Dahlkemper and Councilman Andre Horton. We'll of course be here throughout the day with more breaking news and information here online and on air at Erie News Now. Till then, everybody stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you in just a little bit. Take